So we have successfully created our mini backend application that manages to-do list. So another thing we can do is to properly organize this our server so that it can be maintainable in the future. So in a standard Node.js server, you don't write all your endpoints here. What about if you have another endpoint for product, or you have another endpoint for expenses or whatever? So you don't add everything inside here. So what is normally done is by adding your routes folder. So you have routes folder, then so all these routes we go into the route folder. So we could have something like you could say to do.routes.js. So now we are going to use the router constructor inside Express that is going to enable us like define our routes out outside the root file. So we could have something like router. So from Express, so I could define const what router equal to. So you initialize it. So we could have so you could move all these things. You could move every one of them, these routes. You could move them. You could move them to this separate file. Then you call router. So you export that router. You use export default router. So can you see that? So you all you need to do now is to now you need to also remove this and put it here. Since this is where it will be used, so I can say something like const to do's. It's an empty array. So now I can do what? I can import that import to do router from routes slash to do router.js. So it's a middleware, so you add it as a middleware. So you could say use you could specify you could say something like tags, then to do router. So can you see that? So now we can be able to now make use of those routes that are in this to do.route.js file. So we can be able to make use of it. So so we can test it out. So if we come to this create, so we can play football. So it says something is wrong. Okay, now every route to that to do dots every route to this endpoint will be should start with what slash tags. So it's no longer, so it will be slash tags. So every route should start with slash tags. So there was an error with last class. Now this status should be before the JSON. So you use the status before the JSON. So now slash tags, you can see it's created. Now we could say something like watch football. Now it's created. So now we can get those to do's. So we still use slash tags. So can you see we've gotten them? So to get a particular one, then you do slash tags slash slash 2. So can you see that? So now we can delete. So you can say slash tags slash 1. So we want to delete the one at ID of 1. So you can see that we're only passing so what we have is we are getting the correct what's it called response, which is 204. So that's basically that for separating our routes. So we are going to be moving into still trying to separate this logic into a different file. into a different folder called controller, because this is a controller. So we are going to separate this into a different folder called controller. So we see you in the next class.